Hi my angels and welcome back to my channel.
Wait, I want to do that one.
Hi my angels and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with Adam and he has glammed me up like full on. Never ever ever this amazing. Never done my makeup like this. Never actually had anyone do a full glam look like this on me. So Adam is the first person. I'm completely obsessed.
I'm so honored to be able to do this.
No, he is 19 and he's so flipping talented. I'm gonna leave all of his details below, his Instagram. You guys have to go and follow him. His feed is just inspiration. Like, I love your work. And I'm so glad that you were able to glam me up. If you want to see how Adam did this makeup look on me, then just
keep on watching.
So Adam first started off by prepping my eyelids. He used the P. Louise base and he first kind of like carved out the under part of my eyebrow and then just blended that all down into my eyelid, and also brought it in quite like up the side of my nose and joined it up with like the other eye, which you'll kind of see in the next couple of clips, and made sure that all of the edges were really nice and blended away. And this base you aren't supposed to set, which he didn't do, but I have used this in the past and I feel like setting it just makes it personally a lot easier for me to work with. But next up, he actually used the Huda Beauty Rose Gold palette and he used the shade Henna and started building that up in the crease. He has a really light hand when working on the eyes, but he very slowly built up that color until he was happy with like the level of deepness going on, and also made sure that the lines were nice and diffused away. Now, I've never brought my eyeshadow this far up into my crease, but it's something that I will definitely do when I want really dramatic look for my eyes. But here he's just doing the exact same thing onto the other eye as well. Again, just making sure that they're both like super even and making sure that all the edges are nice and buffed away. And here you can kind of see a close-up of what they are looking like. So to make sure that the outer portion of the eyeshadow was looking really nice and blown out and really nice and blended, he actually took the shade Sandalwood from the same palette and used that to really make sure everything was nice and diffused out into the other parts of the, well, really like high up into the brow bone. And this is what we are left with, and it's super smoky. But then what he did was he went in to deepen the crease. So he's using the shade Cocoa, again from the same palette, and really deepening up that crease and adding a lot more shadow in there. And this is gonna make the eyes look like they're really deep set. So he basically went in a few times to make sure he was happy with like the level of deepness going on, and of course making sure everything's super blended and making sure that both of the eyes are looking as same as possible. I'm really sorry about the lighting. It was super sunny that day and cloudy at the same time, so the lighting is kind of like super bright and super dark throughout this video, so really sorry about that. But this is what the eyes are looking like right now. The next thing he did was he actually took some more of that P. Louise base and basically started buffing that onto the eyelid portion. So this is exactly like where my eyeball is, like you can see here. And it just kind of like lifts the eye and makes it look really kind of light and airy. And he's basically just going in with a fluffy, it's almost like a blending brush, and just making sure that there's a good amount of product on there, and of course that everything is nice and blended out as well. And this is going to act as a really nice base for when he actually adds another color on top. So my outfit was super like simple. It was just a plain black outfit, really stunning, but we wanted to go super glam and super heavy on the eyes and the makeup. So once he was happy with the placement of the P. Louise base on my eyelids, he actually went in with the shade Suede, again from the same palette. It's a really beautiful kind of gray shade, and we are basically just packing that color on top of where that extra P. Louise base was added. So he's just going away, packing it on until he's happy with the level of kind of gray going on in there. I was like, I really want a gray smoky eye, and this is what we came up with. So he's just packing away until he's happy with the way that it's looking. And then the next thing he did was he went back in with a little bit of Henna and Cocoa, just to make sure that the two colors from like the eyelid to the crease are looking nice and seamless and nice and blended together. Then he's taking Black Truffle, which is a super matte black shade, and he's applying that to almost kind of like the outer third of the lash line, and kind of up into the crease a little bit and the outer third of the eye. You can probably see it on this eye a little bit better, but he's kind of packing the color on and then kind of like smoking it and blending it away. I actually really liked this technique because it means that you can get a lot of color on there and pigment on there. Next up, he added some eyeliner to my eyes. This was done off camera, but it was just a black liquid liner, and then he went in with Midnight Cowboy, which is a gold glitter from Urban Decay, and he added that to the inner 2/3 of the eyes. And this just kind of added added a bit of drama, a bit of sparkle to the eye look, and just to give it that more of that like kind of pizzazz, like glam kind of look. And honestly, I've never ever done my eyeshadow like this, but I loved just how glamorous it looked. As you see, it's kind of like swiped away any excess product underneath my eyes, and here I am just tightlining my eyes using my Marc Jacobs eyeliner. And then I'm also going in with the same eyeliner and putting that into my lower waterline, and also smoking that out as well, because he's known for a super smoky eye, so this is going to act as a base before he puts some more eyeshadow on. So once that's done, he goes back in with black truffle, and he's going to start blending that away. This is like a really easy way to do a really nice smoky eye. I've never done it to this kind of dramatic like level, but I loved the way that it turned out. And he's basically just blending, oh my god, I have no idea what I'm saying there, but he's basically just adding and blending everything, and make sure it's kind of connected to the top part of the eye as well, because otherwise it's going to look really like disconnected. And again, just taking some of that crease shade and making sure all the colours are nice and blended in there. So the next step was our base. So he took the Urban Decay Stay Naked foundation, and first he starts applying that with a foundation brush onto my face, and then once he's done with like placing it onto the majority of my face, he's actually going to get a brush like you can see here, and he's going to start kind of blending that into the skin before going in with a damp beauty blender. So the next clip right here, you'll see him kind of going in after I've stopped laughing. I don't know what I'm laughing at, but he's just bouncing that onto my face. This is going to pick up any excess, and it's also going to make all of the foundation look really nice and blended into the skin. We did go quite full coverage on this because like I said, my outfit was quite simple, so I wanted to go really like full on glam with my makeup. So for cream contour, he's using the Charlotte Tilbury contour wand, and I love the way that he pushes product into the skin rather than like swirling and swiping. I feel like you just get so much better use out of the product, and it's definitely something that I've started doing with my makeup. So here I've kind of changed the angle a little bit so you can kind of see where we're going with the cream contour. He's applying it to the usual areas of my face that I generally like to contour, so my cheeks, my forehead, and my jawline, and this is what we are working with. Once that is done, he's going in with the concealer. So he actually, bless him, he did the lines for me underneath my eyes, and I'm just blending those out with the same damp beauty blender and making sure that I'm happy with the way that it's all kind of blended. And then to further brighten that area, because I love a super bright under eye, and so does he. So he added a little bit of the Kevyn Sensual Skin Enhancer. I forgot how good this stuff is, guys. I used to use this all the time back in the day. You'll probably see it on my older videos where I used to mix this and the Maybelline Eraser Eye together, but absolutely love it. I feel like I need to get a new one because my old one is like definitely out of date. But he's just blending all of this away before setting that. So I told him I don't like baking, and he was like, nope, that's fine, we're going with the Charlotte Tilbury setting powder. So that's exactly what he did. He very slightly just kind of set those areas in place, and this is what we are working with: a super bright under eye and a very bronzed skin coming along. So here he used the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. I believe it was in the shade Deep. Again, he's just pressing this into the skin, not very like hard, very softly, and this way you can really build up the color. So he's just adding it also to a little bit on my nose, and then obviously he adds a little bit onto my forehead, my jawline, pretty much all the areas where we cream contoured, which is definitely something I do as well. But here you can really see the kind of makeup coming along. So before we moved on to the next steps, he actually popped a little bit of the All Nighter setting spray onto my face, and this is just going to help everything obviously stick. It was actually really hot that day, and my makeup did not budge. I feel like I could have slept in this, and honestly my makeup would have stayed put the whole time. So once that's all pressed into the skin, he went in with highlight. So we're using Champagne Pop, my fave, and he's basically concentrating this on the top part of my cheek. And I've actually been doing this a lot recently rather than like dragging it all the way up, and I actually so much prefer the way highlight looks like this rather than like kind of dragging it all the way up your cheekbone and kind of almost into your hairline. I really like this placement of it. So he's also adding a little bit to the inner corners of my eyes just to kind of lift them and brighten them up a little bit. And then he went on with some blush. We were actually going to a wedding at this day, so we used my Sweet Enough wedding blush, which is from MAC. It's the one that I wore on my wedding that day, which you guys have probably heard 1,000,001 times already, but just a flush of color, nothing too like intense. And I just love how everything kind of like blends into each other, and I feel like the colors were really complementing. So next it was time for eyebrows. We're using the Precisely My Brow Pencil. And I absolutely loved the way he did my brows. He basically just did the main kind of like line underneath my brow, and it just made everything look super clean. And then he just added a few strokes on the kind of arch of my brow, and that was it. We pretty much just combed through them after that and made sure that the product was really nice and even. And that was literally the brow done. And I really, really liked this technique. I feel like because he had already cleaned the under eye of my, like where my eyelid was when we were doing the base, I feel like majority of that was clean and ready to go anyways, but I really liked the technique that he used. So once the eyebrows were filled in and I had kind of combed through them, we actually went over the top with some Benefit 24-hour brow setter. I love this gel. This honestly makes my eyebrow hairs stay in place like no other. So he's kind of like brushing my hair up in my eyebrows and then kind of like just folding them into each other. So he's doing the same thing to the other eye, and that's it. It was literally as simple as that, but I loved the way that my eyebrows turned out. So the eyes are pretty much almost done. The last thing for me to do was to comb through my lash extensions, and funnily enough, they didn't have too much like eyeshadow or anything on them, so I was really happy about that, because it's always one thing that makeup artists kind of can be a bit like, oh no, you've got, you know, lash extensions on, but it actually turned out really well. I'm just adding a little bit of the Bambi mascara onto my lower lashes, as you can see here, and that is pretty much the eyes all complete. And as you can see, I'm very, very happy. Next up, we were moving on to lips. So I actually popped some of my Fenty Beauty liquid lip in the shade Unbutton. I knew I wanted my lips to be super, super nude because we had really glamorous eyes. And here, oh my god, I tried looking for this lip liner, guys. It's called Red Velvet and it's from Primark, and it's such a beautiful lip liner. But yeah, I couldn't find it in Primark anywhere. I'm sure they have similar colors. I did try and look for some, but I absolutely loved this lip liner. It was gorgeous, and my lip, again, just lasted the whole time. I didn't need to top up at all that night. So here I'm just making sure I'm happy with like the way that things are nice and blended out in the outer portions of my eyes. And then the last thing to do, but definitely not least, is to pop some of my favorite setting spray. And this, we use the All Nighter setting spray from Urban Decay.
So that's the glam complete. We went for some grey smoky eyes. It was matte first, but then we added a little bit of sparkle to amp it up. You'll see the full complete look with Kaushal's outfit and everything on her Instagram.
Yeah, so come and watch that, because I am obsessed with my outfit as well.
It's stunning. Stunning.
Please make sure to check out Adam. I'm going to leave his Instagram below, and I'll put his handle on the screen as well. You guys have to go and follow him and tell him that I sent you. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully we can film some more looks together.
Yes, guys, and I'm also thinking of coming onto YouTube soon.
Yeah,
so let me know if you want to see that, and we could do some
give
more
it a thumbs
tutorials.
up. Yeah.
I'll start. Okay, so let's do the whole YouTube thing. What is it called?
Okay, so
like,
please,
share, and subscribe.
please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe down there.
Down below, somewhere. Where is the button?
Right there.
Just there.
And hopefully see you guys in the next
video. Bye.
Bye.